Welcome, my friends, to a new episode of Ways of Teacher Training. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about a very famous type of input sessions. I'm going to talk about demo-based input sessions. And when I say demo-based input sessions, I'm talking here about the course tutor delivering a demo lesson while the course candidates are acting like students. And then when they finish this demo lesson with the teacher trainer, they start reflecting on what happened in terms of tasks given to them. So the beauty of these input sessions is that they are really practical because candidates see real teaching going on, and they see this real teaching coming from the teacher trainer, which is very important because now they're acting like students, and they see the teacher trainer using the techniques he's been telling them about. So it is a very, very effective and realistic way of training teachers, and also very adaptable, because as a teacher trainer, once you change the topic of the demo lesson and the focus, so you have a different input session. So if you deliver a writing demo lesson, then the focus of this session, of course, is writing. And when it's a speaking demo lesson, then the main aim of the session is speaking. So it is adaptable. However, the only disadvantage of this type of input sessions is that it needs a lot of preparation on the side of the trainer. You need to be ready because you're setting an example, and you don't want your candidates later to say, hey, but wait a minute, why you're telling me that I shouldn't be doing this while actually you've done it in your own demo lesson. Now that's a very dangerous area now. So when you decide as a teacher trainer to deliver a demo-based input session, make sure that everything is okay, because you don't want your candidates later on the course to challenge you with your own mistakes. And always remember that no one is perfect. But again, it's difficult when you make a mistake in such demos, because they will be held against you in the future. Right, good. Now, these demo-based input sessions can be also designed in a way that would target two aims, not only one. And I call these types of input sessions that would target two aims, I call them double input sessions. Why do I call them double input session? Because I can actually target two areas. Now, and double input sessions, need a very smart teacher trainer to design them, because you're kind of hitting two sparrows with one stone. And again, in the coming demo lesson that you're going to watch now, I did this. Because I had two aims in this session. Aim number one is to get my candidates to see a real demo lesson with true beginners. So I wanted them to learn how to teach true beginners. But not only that, I had another aim, which is introducing the PPP framework: present, practice, produce. And in this scenario, I've got to be ready with a lot of material. So I need to be ready with material for the demo lesson itself. And what I mean by this, activities for my candidates to answer as real students. Number two, I need to be ready with handouts that would cover my first aim, which is how to teach beginners. Number three, I need to be ready also with handouts that would cover the PPP framework. And this is actually what I did in this demo input session. So what I want you to do, my friends, I want you to watch now the actual demo lesson. Let's go. Now let me tell you about this session, right? Now, this session is called How to Teach Beginners, right? How to teach beginners. And again, previously we studied, the frameworks of English language teaching. Okay, those frameworks related to systems, and those frameworks related to skills. We talk generally about teaching adults, right? But this time we're not talking about teaching any kind of adults. We're talking about true beginners in this one. And we're talking about a language framework. We're stressing on that framework one more time, right? Now, the importance of this session is that out there in reality, after the course is over, you might come across a true beginner, and then you will have to deal with that true beginner and teach him English. Now, how would you do that? And how do we teach true beginner classes? Okay, so that's something that you might encounter in reality. And also we need to introduce a framework that would help you do this job in reality. Also, for this course, okay, it is very important that you understand the framework that we follow when we're teaching true beginners, because this is something that you can also integrate in your teaching practice, and also you might need it for also higher studies, okay, in higher levels of English language teaching. Now, what are the aims of this session? Well, number one is to raise your awareness of how you should deal with true beginners in the English classrooms. So that's number one. Number two is to show you how we can teach true beginners using the target language and without using their first language, even when they don't know the English letters. We can still teach them English in English. Number three, we want also to show you the framework that would work with teaching true beginners and introduce its stages and rationals. So, are you ready? Ready, steady?
Yes.
Good. So, now, how am I going to achieve this? I'm going to achieve this by turning all of you into true beginners. Are you ready for the experiment?
Good, sure.
Okay, good. Sabona.
Sabon.
Sabona. 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 Quindi loco.
Bread.
Cha. Quindi loco.
Quindi lo
Toast.
Cha. Quindi loco.
Potato.
Cha. I'm a zamb. I'm a zamb. I'm a zamb.
Amazon. Amazon. Amazon.
Amazon.
Amazon.
I'm a zamb. I'm a zamb.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, African, right?
Quindi loco.
Amazon.
Quindi loco.
Amazon.
I'm a zamb. I'm a zamb. I'm a zamb. Yellow. Quindi loco.
Tomato.
Cha. Cha. Automedis. Automedis. Automedis.
Automatis. 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 Automatis.
Automedis.
Automatis.
Automedis.
Automatis.
Automedis.
Automatis.
Automedis.
Automatis.
Quindi loco.
Banana.
Cha. Cha.
Frente.
Cha. Oh banana. Oh banana. Oh banana.
Oh banana. Oh banana. Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Oh banana. When you loco?
Oh banana.
Oh banana. Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Oh banana.
When you loco? I'm a zamba. When you loco? Orubedis. Orubedis. When you loco?
Oh banana.
When you loco?
Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Oh banana.
Nana. Oh banana.
Oh banana.
When you loco?
Chicken.
Cha.
What is that?
When you loco? In coco, in coco, in coco,
In coco. In coco.
In coco. In coco.
In coco.
In coco.
coco,
Coco. We're speaking
Yeah, but-
here with
in coco,
In coco.
when you loco?
B.
Cha, cha, bifu, inyama, inyama, inyama,
Inyama. 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 Inyama.
Inyam.
Inyama.
inyama, when you loco? When you loco? When you loco?
Oh banana.
When you loco?
In coco.
When you loco?
Inyama.
Yebo. When you loco?
Amazon.
When you loco? When you loco?
Oh banana.
When you loco?
In coco.
When you loco?
Inyama.
When you loco?
Amazon. In coco.
Oh
Banana. Inyama. Amazon. Oh banana.
Oh banana.
In coco.
Yebo. When you loco?
In coco.
Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Yebo. Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Yebo. Cha. Yebo. Cha. Yebo. Cha. Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Aspettate qua. Quelli loco? Yebo. O banana? Quelli loco? Yebo. Quelli loco? Yebo. Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco? Quelli loco?
Ora meglio. Quelli loco?
Yeah. Yebo.
Quelli loco? Yebo.
Right. Okay, lovely. Right, thank you so much, my friends. So, as you saw, my friends, it was a Zulu demo lesson, teaching Zulu for beginners. And I'm not great at Zulu or anything, so if you notice that I mispronounced something here or there, so please forgive me. It's not my first language or second language. I don't speak Zulu. I just prepared this lesson as a demo lesson for my candidates and to show them how true beginners feel when they are being exposed to a new language that they haven't seen before. And again, as you saw, I was ready with control practice handouts, freer practice handouts. There was a lot of drilling. Now let's move to the second part of the input session, which is reflection on teaching beginners. And let's see how I did it and the kind of handouts I used. Let's go. Let's talk about what happened. Now, what we saw now with the demo lesson, where I turned you into true beginners by teaching you a language that you haven't studied before. What do you think this language was?
African.
It's an African language, but what language exactly? It's the Zulu language. Zulu language. Zulu, yeah, style of Zulu is the biggest tribe in Africa, and also one of the main languages in South Africa. Right? Okay. Good, lovely. So, now, it is time now to reflect on what happened. So here, I have question number one, which is, describe the following to your partner. And we have here 5 points for you to discuss together about this demo lesson, right? First, I want you to think about these, and then I'll give you time to talk, right? So please keep it folded, right? Go on. Okay, now I want you to work in groups. Discuss all these points with your partner, so the 3 of you together. And I would like you to join the 2 wonderful ladies here. Right? And then let's have the 3 of you together. Take your chair. You kind of, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Let's go back to the U shape. A very important question: how you felt during the lesson as beginners? Yeah. Okay, so you were interested.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else? What about
Which
you?
language is it? And which language is it? And I need to know more about.
Okay.
Motivated to learn a new language.
You wanted to.
Something new. I enjoy learning something new today.
Okay. And at the very beginning of the lesson, when I started saying Salbona, how did you feel?
It was really nice and got the students engaged.
Surprising.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did I set up the activities?
I think it was great.
Yeah. What did I do exactly?
First, showing the picture to making the students realize what is that exactly.
Yeah, but that was while teaching the vocabulary. I'm talking about setting up the activities. I gave you 2 activities.
Was clear.
Yeah, it was clear.
Yeah.
And very interesting.
And what language did I use when I was setting up the activities?
Pointing.
Yeah, right? Body language mainly,
Yeah.
right? Body language. So why didn't I give you instructions in Zulu?
Because we will not understand.
Yeah, that's why we keep telling you, reduce your TTT. It's because when you're teaching English, if you talk to beginners in a lot of English, don't think that you're doing them a favor.
Yeah.
Okay? Using unnecessary English with your beginner students is just, like making them feel very uncomfortable and making them feel that they wouldn't be able to understand. Because imagine me talking to you in Zulu, right? And then you will go, what the hell's going on? What is he talking about? Right? And this is not okay. That's why we keep saying reduce your TTT all the time. It doesn't help. Right. Now, how did I involve the learners?
Following with asking each other.
Okay, so creating communicative activities. What else?
Even to request someone to come board and model with him or with her.
Okay, right. Giving them models. What else? To involve you.
Pair work was different language.
You forgot a very important strategy that I used. Elicitation. I insisted on asking you,
What is that?
although I know that you don't know.
Yeah.
I kept saying, Queenie Loco, I know you don't know. But I asked you so that I keep you involved and engaged and thinking. So it wasn't that kind of, traditional presentation where I come in and then I say, we've got these 5 Zulu words and this is what they mean. No, it was just asking all the time. And actually you got one of them. Good for you, how did you do that? Lovely.
So even if they didn't respond, I have to elicit, even if I know that they don't know.
Of course, you elicit to keep them interested in your lesson. But you don't keep eliciting forever. It's just you listen to 3 wrong answers and then you give them the correct one, so that it doesn't become boring. But elicitation is very important in attracting attention. And also the usage of, I used what?
Pictures.
Exactly, yeah. Pictures also is very good in attracting students' attention. Right. So another question, how did I make meanings clear?
Pictures.
Yes?
By using pictures, then with the words and the board, then read.
Yeah, but mainly for meaning is using
Pictures.
Do you think I would have been able to deliver this lesson without pictures?
No.
So either pictures or realia.
Yeah.
Both would work, but nothing else. Would it help to use Zulu definitions?
No. It will be horrible.
Yeah, it's because they don't know Zulu. How am I going to use Zulu, definitions with this level? Right? Good. Now, and how did I presented new words and expressions? New words, how did I do that? What was the strategy in presentation? The sequence. Say that again?
CW.
Exactly, the C, E, C, D, W, right? The C, E, C, D, W, okay? And we said that C, first C stands for? Exactly. What was my context?
The pictures.
Excellent, yeah. And very good. Elicitation.
CCQ.
And did I use CCQs today?
No.
I didn't. Why?
Because they have no language.
Of course, they have no language. That's the reason number 1. If you use Zulu CCQs, they wouldn't understand. What is reason number 2?
It's obviously it's individual aids.
Excellent. I don't need them because I'm teaching banana. What CCQs will I use with banana? Do we eat it? Yes, of course. I mean, that would be very stupid questions, right? I mean, because once you show a student a banana, he knows what a banana is, regardless of how bad his level at the language. See what I mean? Because they're still human beings, they're not aliens. Right? Good. Okay. So, there's no CCQs yet. But, D, did I drill?
Yes.
Was it important?
Yes. Of course.
Very, right?
Good writing.
Okay. And finally, what was there?
Writing.
Excellent, yeah. Right. Good. Now, so my friends, now let's move to the second part of the question. And I want you to fold the handout again and only focus on the second question. And it says, tell your partners about the differences you noticed between Zulu, Arabic, and English. So just think about these areas, right? There is the word Hebrew used, and change that. It's a Zulu lesson or a Hebrew lesson, right? And I want you to work in groups and talk about this. So please, back to your groups and think about question number 2 quickly.
What do you mean about the word order? Spelling?
This is how you, like for example in Arabic, we have nouns followed by adjectives. But in English we have adjectives followed by nouns. That's word order. Like how you arrange words in a sentence. Okay, now ready to talk? Now what about point number 1? Now I believe when it comes to word order it's too early to judge. Because we just studied, single words, so we can't decide for sure, okay, what word order is there. But now let's move to the second one, which is unfamiliar sounds. Have you noticed unfamiliar sounds? No. However, it's because I chose words that don't contain unfamiliar sounds in Zulu. But in Zulu, you have some unfamiliar sounds there. Like this is a sound in Zulu. They have clicks, yes, that's a sound. Okay, when we, call chickens here in England, that's a sound there. This is another sound. Yeah.
How do you pronounce this in the middle of a word?
Exactly. That's very challenging. Like someone was, I don't know, when I was in South Africa, someone was trying to teach me how to say eggs, and he said that it's and I don't know. But he said it very quickly. I mean, it's still very difficult for me to produce that click in the middle of the word. But yes, there are some, I haven't encountered them here. I believe what would be unfamiliar, have you thought about the stress in the words we studied? What did you notice?
It's very
Long stress.
In the first syllable or the second?
second.
Yeah, usually on the second part, like you say, a banana, in yama, in ko. So it's like, of course, yeah, and a bit of, So what about pieces of vocabulary? Let's talk about vocabulary. We didn't focus on grammar today. But talking about vocabulary, have you noticed similarities? Oh yeah, banana, it's like banana in English language, right? And automatis, a bit close, right? A bit close to tomato. What else? In cocoa, it's close to what we say in Arabic. Okay, about chicken, okay, kukuwawa. There is even a company here called Kukushena. Right, it's like, and we have the famous song kukuwawa. Makes sense, yeah, mashallah. Right, good. So, now let's come to the last questions, okay? Which is, for me, that's the most important question. And we have 3 questions here. Number 1, do you think you'll be able to remember what you have learned in 7 days' time? Okay, so that's for you to think about. 2, what have you learned from this experience about learning a new language? And also, what have you learned from this experience about teaching a new language, right? So, take your time, think about it on your own, and then you'll talk in groups. Okay, now back to your groups. Talk together. Okay. Question number 1. So, question number 1. Do you think you'll be able to remember what you've learned in 7 days' time?
A few days. A few days after. Just a few days.
Like not 7 days?
No.
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 I think it depends also if I'm gonna use it or not, or if I'm gonna be engaged with the same language or not. Even though if I forgot how to pronounce it, if I heard it, I think I'll be able to understand. Yes.
Other opinions?
I'm gonna practice it and become more to remember.
I would say
experience tells me, because I delivered this session, many times before, and I can say that I still get TEFL candidates who finished the course a long time ago, and they still remember when they see me, they start saying the words. Okay, so actually, yes, and then you don't try to review them, and after 1 week, just check on yourself and see whether you remember or not, in order to go through the same experience. But I can tell you, yes, you'll be able to remember them. Question is, why do you think you'll be able to recall these words?
The first words of our Zulu language.
Maybe.
Because of the understanding.
Understand.
Yes,
Yeah, I fully understand, and when you understand something, it just gets in your mind.
It's with the by visuals and
Using several
Exactly. So there are visuals, and visuals help students recall things. What else? Drilling. A lot of drilling. And drilling helps the students recall. Did I repeat myself? Yes, remember when I keep changing the pictures, right? And like look at this, if I say, Queni Loco. You see, she's ready, quickly. Queni Loco. Oh, you still can do it, and quickly, it's because of the strategy. Also think about of what? Controlled practice and free. So I didn't just come in the classroom, you know what some traditional teachers do. النهارده هنتكلم على لغه جديده يا جماعه، هنتكلم على الزولو. معانا النهارده 5 كلمات في الزولو مهمين جدا. الكلمه الاولى هي فرخه. فرخه بالزولو يعني انكوكو. طبعا when you teach this way, it becomes really difficult for students to recall, because they haven't been involved in the usage of the language. But when you introduce it, and you get them to practice it at the same time in a classroom, it becomes very easy for them to recall. And imagine, I spent with you about 15 to 20 minutes teaching Zulu. Can you imagine that if, you study 6 hours of Zulu weekly, how far you would develop in conversation if you were able, in this session, you produced a conversation. Yes, it's a very limited one, but still it's a conversation. Queni Loco, Inkoko, Yebo, Cha. So yeah, very limited responses, but it's a conversation like in the first 15 or 20 minutes, which is good, right? So what have you learned from this experience about learning a new language? And we're talking here about as a learner, not as a teacher.
Not that hard to learn a new language without your mother tongue.
Exactly. You don't need your mother tongue.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. It's because a lot of learners think that I need Arabic to learn English, and if they don't teach me in Arabic, then I wouldn't learn English, which is untrue. What else? As a learner.
the features of Zulu is similar to English.
Oh, like you can use the similarities between languages to remember. Okay, what else? As a learner, what do you need to learn a language?
Visual aids could be just an essential.
Exactly. I need, things to see to make meanings comprehensible, okay, understandable. Right, I need to understand what I'm learning. What about teaching? What did you learn as a teacher from this experience?
How to deal with very beginners.
Okay, but that's a general answer. Can you give me something specific?
Techniques used to present new language, new vocabulary, sorry.
Very good.
By visuals or realia.
And are they important?
Yes.
Very would be okay. Thank you so much. What else?
How to choose appropriate tasks for student feedback?
How to? Can you raise your voice?
Choose appropriate tasks.
Yeah, because were my tasks very challenging? No, they were okay for the level.
I think by choosing the easy words program as a beginners,
Yeah.
early beginning, yeah.
Very good. And that's what you see when you check a book designed for beginners. They don't start by difficult stuff. They usually start by objects. I teach you what a cup means, what keys mean. I mean, that sort of thing, but we don't teach you difficult stuff in the beginning or abstract words. Very good. What else?
It's not necessary to use L1.
Which is a very common belief that in order to teach true beginners you have to use L1. Oh no, it's not true. You can actually teach them English in English, but the most important thing is to grade your English. Now people or learners who hate studying English in English, it's not because teaching English in English is wrong, it's because they have been exposed to teachers teaching English in English the wrong way. Like they think that they have, when they go to beginner classes, they start showing off their English. Oh, look at my English, look at how fast I am, right? Forgetting that a main job of a teacher is to simplify the language, not to make it complicated and too challenging for students, right? So you need also to bear this in mind. Okay, so
Now, as you saw, my friends, I got my candidates to reflect on what I did in terms of teaching beginners. Now, let's move to the second aim of the session, which is the framework of PPP. And let's see how I designed a handout that would get my students to think about the staging and the rationale behind every stage, and also the stage names. Let's go.
we talked about teaching beginners before the break, right? And then we reflected on what we learned from the experience we saw together. Now is the time to focus on the framework that we followed, right? So I have here the procedures that I followed in the demo lesson. All I want you to do is to swim back in your memories. Try to remember which procedure I did first and rearrange them. Is it easy to squeeze it? Let's keep it folded. I want you to work with your partners, check your answers. So the three of you here together. Yes, come on. Okay, so what would be number one? Is it Muhammad Ramadan?
Yes.
C, thank you so much. Good. After that?
B.
Oh yes, wonderful answer. And after that?
G.
Let me check that. Oh yes, and after that?
D.
D. Oh yes, right, and after that?
F.
Wait a minute. Yes, F, the matching activity. And after that?
A.
Very good, very good. Now, unfold. And we have here a chart. And in this chart, we have the stage names. So we've got leading, present, practice, produce, and finally, what? Feedback. So again, leading, present, practice, produce, feedback. So which framework is it? Very good. That's the PPP framework. So what I want you to do is to take these procedures and match them to these stages. Go on, work alone. Now check with your partners. So help each other, the three of you. Both of you. Yes. Okay, my friends. Right. So, which one would be the lead in?
C.
Very good. And then present?
D.
Wonderful. So, meaning? Pronunciation and form. Very good. And what about practice? Very good. Produce?
A.
And feedback?
E.
Wonderful. Good answers. Now, we have here the rationales behind these stages. And when I say the rationales, I mean why. So match, again, go on. Now check with your partner. Go on. Okay, righty then. To provide the students with feedback on their productive activity.
Feedback.
Very good. To provide the students with a clarification of the target language in context. To give the students an opportunity to practice the target language freely. To generate the students' interest into the topic of the lesson. To provide the students with more focus on accuracy. Very good. Thank you so much, my friends.
So thank you very much, my friends, for watching this episode. And to wrap up, we talked today about demo-based input sessions, and we talked also about double input sessions in one episode of Ways of Teacher Training. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave comments and likes. This encourages me so much to continue. This was Shad Abusif. See you again. Bye-bye.